Pew Research is out with a new report on gun reform, and they have some illuminating findings. So they say 83% of registered voters supported universal background checks, and 74% favored stopping gun sales to those on the terrorist watch list. All right, now let me pause here and just bring up how there are legitimate due process concerns about that second one. So the argument many people have made, including many people on the left, is, well, hold on, you have the terrorist watch list, the no-fly list, is actually this due process-free list where the government just puts whoever the fuck they want on that list. And there could be evidence of them being terrorists, or there could be no evidence whatsoever of them being terrorists. So it's just like a secret government list, and liberals being in favor of a secret government list and then banning people from doing certain things if they're on that list, that's pretty questionable. So there are legitimate concerns about that policy position. But just the main takeaway should be from this and from what I've already given you here, that the overwhelming majority of the American people are open to some forms of gun reform. So again, 83% universal background checks, no exceptions, universal background checks. That's a lot. Isn't that a lot? Now, listen to this. Even 75% of those backing Donald Trump agree with background checks, and 72% with the ban on terrorist gun purchases. Even Trump fans are like, yeah, we could do universal background checks. What, are you crazy? This reminds me of a poll we did not that long ago, or actually, it actually was a while ago, probably over a year ago. There was a poll after one of the mass shootings when NRA members were polled. Even they supported many different kinds of gun reform, universal background checks being one of them. Okay, when NRA members even agree with you, I think it's time to act. Now, they don't agree on some of the harder gun reforms, you know, the assault weapons ban and stuff like that. They may even agree on high-capacity magazine bans. But so here's the thing. It's the leadership of the NRA that's the real problem. The members are actually kind of reasonable when you get into the details and you look at the poll numbers. So the leadership of the NRA, they take money from the gun manufacturers and the people who make their money from guns in the U.S., and then they pass the money on to the Republican politicians, and they give it to them with the understanding that these guys are supposed to block any and all gun reform, no matter how moderate, no matter how vanilla, no matter how sane, no matter how obvious it is that we need it. So we have the last people in the country that should be controlling gun policy are the ones who are controlling gun policy. Isn't that insane? Like, literally the last group of people you would want making the decision because they make all their money from selling guns. They're the ones who are really controlling policy and blocking anything because they bought the Republicans. But again, when you look at the poll numbers, majority of liberals, majority of conservatives, majority of independents, majority of the entire country. Even majority of Trump voters go, yeah, of course we can do some things, especially universal background checks, which was slapped down by the Republicans the last time it was brought up by Democrats. So the Democrats tried a little bit, though not really all that much, I would argue, because they buckled so quickly, to do, we're going to do a sit-in for gun reform. And unfortunately, all they did was a sit-in for the universal background checks. Okay, that part's good. But then they did a sit-in for the terrorist watch list thing, too. That one's, again, up in the air for the reasons I just described. But they didn't do it for high-capacity magazine bans. They didn't do it for assault weapons bans. They didn't do it for a giant gun buyback program. Other things that would really, limit the number of gun deaths without really restricting liberty. I mean, you can have gun rights while understanding we still regulate it. This is my same position on drugs. I want to legalize it, tax it, and regulate it. Same with guns. Legalize, tax, and regulate. So we have an opportunity here. If you're an elected Democrat, you would have to be a moron not to go balls to the wall full out on this, because you already have people with you. So you know what that means? You don't even have to move the polls, which is something that, by the way, I'm always optimistic about. I think we can move the polls on any issue. But you already have the people with you, so now it's just a matter of repetition. Now you just go out there and you say, these Republicans are basically fascists. People go, whoa, what do you mean? That's crazy. Oh, is it crazy? Well, then why is it that even 75% of Trump voters say we got to do a universal background check, and the Republicans say, nope, not going to do it. Why? Because they're bought. They're bought. That's why. because they're not listening to the people. They're not listening. They're puppets to their donors. That's what it is. They're fascists. Doesn't matter what percentage of the American people want to see a change. They say, I don't care. I don't care. Over 90% of the American people in a different poll said universal background checks. Over 90%. They were like, well, I don't give a shit. Fuck do I care? Piss off. So where does it end? How many policies is this the case? And to be clear, it's most policies. Vox did a poll, and they're no fans of Bernie Sanders, by the way. They were much more Team Hillary Clinton, but they polled Bernie Sanders' agenda. They were blown away. They're like, oh my God, this guy has the most popular positions I've ever seen, ever. Like almost everybody in the country was like, yeah, I want that guy's positions. Universal health care, universal college, raise taxes on the rich, you name it. People are just like, yeah, I want that. I want that. I want that. I want that. So hold on now. We have a majority of the country with Bernie on all those things. Why the fuck are the Democrats not hammering away on that? Why are they not saying, here's what we're for? Guys, if they're already with you and you keep repeating that you're with them by saying we are for X, Y, and Z, the other team has no chance. How the fuck are the Republicans going to fight back against the reality that you can represent the philosophy the American people want? That's how you win elections. But the Democrats don't know. They don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. Look, if there was an effective Democratic strategist who knew what he was doing, the Democrats could win every election from now until forever. It's really not that difficult. But what do the idiot strategists tell them now at every turn? The answer is always run further to the right. Always run further to the right. So, hey, man, let's not be crazy here and be far left because the American people are not far left. This is what they say. Again, if you look at the polls, they kind of are far left. The far left is the center if you look at the polls and go issue for issue. But they got this caricature in their head. No, I've been told by Fox News and everybody else that the country's center right. It's center right. It's center right. So whenever in trouble, run to the right. Run to the right. Be more moderate. Be more, independent and centrist. And that's how you'll get votes. Well, it turns out whenever anybody does that, they get their ass handed to them. Because people go, why would I want diet Republican when I could get real Republican? At least they're confident and aggressive in what they're saying. You're just sound like a weak, confused little bitch. Well, if you're not a weak, confused little bitch and you actually argue for liberal positions, people will go for you. And there's evidence of this, too. You know who? In an election where most Democrats got slaughtered, Alan Grayson won in a landslide. Why? He was like, yeah, I'm liberal. Here's what I believe. Yeah, come at me, bitch. I'll take care of that. And another example, who lost? Allison Lundergan Grimes. Allison Lundergan Grimes, who wouldn't even say she voted for Obama when running as a Democrat. I wonder why she lost. Because she's a mealy-mouthed moderate centrist who's like, I'm going to try to run to the center to be more reasonable. And who fucking beat her? Mitch McConnell, who has unfavorables at roughly 12 zillion%. But they liked him more than Allison Lundergan Grimes because they're like, at least he stands for something. She's just confused. So, yeah, be aggressive, be progressive, and you can actually win. But you need to want to do it, and that's the fear, is that maybe they don't even want to do it. Maybe they're so corrupt as well and so bought by big business that they're just like, we don't even want to be like that. We want to be like corporate sellouts and center-right pricks. Okay, well then I hope you're happy continuously losing.